It's a 2-touchdown lead for Utah State as we begin the second quarter. But Ray, the last play of the first quarter run by New Mexico, the Lobos are fortunate they didn't turn it over.
Well, yeah, and you have the second time you have a miscommunication. This guy should actually be the pitch guy, and this guy should be lead blocking. And they mix it up. And what happens is McQuarrie's in the way. The pitch hit him on the shoulder.
And Jordan is really fortunate.
Yeah, right?
That ball bounced right back to him. That was a loss of 7. So on second down, Apodaca's in looking to throw. And there looked to be a little contact, but no flag. McQuarrie, the intended receiver, and Ellison had the coverage.
And they tried to do a little, we call it T-sneak or T-shoot. They try to send the fullback up the middle, and I agree with you. I definitely think Ellison got there early, and they got away with one, and now the Lobos are going to have to kick a field goal, attempt a field goal here. Bob Davie doesn't quite believe it.
Jason Sanders, 36-yard attempt. His long this year is 49 off the left hash. Out of the hold is Sam Gentry. It has the distance, the height, and is good. Well, Jason Sanders puts New Mexico on the scoreboard. Early moments of the second quarter from Logan, and it's 14-3 Aggies. Early in this second quarter from Logan, Utah. It's the Aggies that have the 14-3 lead. We're glad you could join us on this Saturday night from beautiful Logan, Utah, along with Alex Corby down on the field, Ray Bentley out, Mark Dealey. We saw New Mexico first possession, 3 quick first downs, then turn it over on downs, and then Utah State gets the fast start that their head coach Matt Wells was looking for.
And he's been preaching it all week long, Mark, and that can be a tough thing, because if you don't get that fast start, then where are you?
Yeah.
Fortunately for the Aggies, they have a fast start. They're playing very good football right now. Clean, not making a lot of mistakes, and their quarterback, Kent Myers, has been on fire thus far.
After the field goal from Sanders, getting New Mexico on the board. The kickoff through the back line of the end zone. And it'll come out to the 25 for the Aggies.
I mentioned Kent Myers, 7 of 9 for 82 yards and a touchdown thus far. And if he can continue to play like that, these Aggies are going to be tough to deal with, because when he is successful throwing the football, it gives that offensive line just a little extra boost, and the run game opens up.
Myers throwing again on first down. Goes far side to Tarver, steps out of bounds with a quick 3-yard gain. Let's check in with the studio again and Chris Cotter.
All right, gentlemen, time for a Scott Trade takeaway moment. We go to the Ole Miss Texas A&M game. Gary Wunderlich is going to pass the Wunderlich test. 39 yards for the win. Ole Miss beats Texas A&M in Shea Patterson's debut as quarterback, guys.
Hey, Chris, thanks very much.
The Wunderlich is not a pass-fail deal. I know from experience.
I give Ray a Wunderlich test every week, and the responses we get are
off the chart, baby.
Mind-changing.
Yes. Bending.
Well, a third down upcoming for Utah State. They have converted both their third down opportunities so far tonight.
Part of that is the ability of Kent Myers, the quarterback. Now he's got 3 receivers to the top. I wouldn't be surprised if they rolled him over there.
That indeed is the case. Here's Myers on the run. Now a little jump throw, and it's dangerous and almost picked off a couple of times. Lee Crosby, number 5, was the first that had a chance to come away with it.
Boy, and he expected his receiver out there, Lewis, to continue deep on the route. You see how Lewis, he set it down over there? And Myers expected him to keep going. It's one of those deals where you read it. If you're ahead of that guy, you keep going. If you're even, then you cut it down and come back. And it was really a young receiver mistake by Lewis, I believe.
Utah State punting. Davis makes the fair catch at the 31. Well, Taco Bell is a proud partner of the College Football Playoff. You can be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. And it is senior night here in Logan. They're honoring their 25 seniors. The weather really couldn't be any better for this time of year in Logan, Utah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Been really, really nice.
Mid-60s, sunshine
during the day, and
yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of a canyon breeze coming on. That might affect things later.
Here in the Cache Valley tonight. First down. Lobos begin at their own 31.
Got him.
Going for him. Got Reed broken up at the last moment. Cameron Haney, who's 5'11", guarding the 6'2" Reed, and he just got there in time.
And he got it by makeup speed. Haney, a true freshman, he's a blazer. And that's how he made this play, because I said got him because I saw how Reed was just wide open. Now, the ball was a hair underthrown and maybe late, but that is all Haney needed, was that little instant to play catch up, and he did.
Well, we saw Bob Davie taking a first down passing shot, second time tonight.
An unbalanced line here.
Giving it up. Here's the run straight ahead for Tyrone Evans. Christopher Unga comes up to make the hit.
And this Lobo offense will continue to pound that dive at you. That's really what sets up the whole rest of an offense, of an option offense. You pound the dive, you pound the dive. All of a sudden they're thinking dive, and next thing you know, he pulls it. He's on the edge. They've got you outnumbered, and that's how they get their big plays. They'll also pop one of them dives from time to time.
Now, Lobos have not converted a third down yet tonight. 0 for 3. Came in converting 46% of them on the year, though.
Mostly because they're in third and short.
Jordan pitches. Right near the marker, stepping out is Gibson, and where they mark him, he should have the first down.
Patrick Reed had a great block out there. He kept the corner occupied until Gibson was able to get the edge and get enough for the first down.
Needed 5, picked up 5. First down now at the 41 of the Lobos.
I want to follow up on that, Mark. These receivers, you know, it's tough. They don't throw the ball that much. So what they do, they get incentive. They get RBIs, which are blocks, just like what Reed just got, that create first downs or touchdowns. Incentivize those guys with some stats.
Add a little baseball flavor to it, huh? Jordan pitches. This is Daryl Chestnut, who fights his way forward. Where they mark him out across the 45. Siwa Taufa helping out on the hit.
This Utah State defense is doing an excellent job in shutting down this run game. They being New Mexico, averaging just 4.1 per carry here early on, and they're well above that for the season, and they need to be. They need to bust a big play, and that's another thing this defense is disallowed, other than the one long pass that got him into field goal range.
Second and short, 2nd and 3. Jordan gives it up. McQuarrie only a yard or so. Brock Carmen came up to make the initial hit. It's going to be a third and what, about a yard and a half?
Yeah, excuse me, Mark. Carmen, normally an outside linebacker, had to move into inside linebacker due to some injuries. So they've got 3 guys, and if one of those goes down, Coach Wells tells us we don't know who would be in there next. I'm sure they've got somebody in mind.
Yeah, Utah State had a bunch of guys dinged up last week at Wyoming. 3rd and 1.
They got 5 D linemen.
McQuarrie tripped up, but enough for the first down. That was Brock Carmen once again, able to get him by the ankles.
Watch these defensive linemen submarine the offensive line. That just blows up the blocking scheme. But the great vision from McQuarrie, he saw a little hole to the outside and was able to get it and move the stitch.
Submarine, is that the new term for cut blocking?
Well, when the defensive guy does it, it's submarine.
Okay.
When the offense guy, that's a cut block.
85 rushing yards for New Mexico. You mentioned they don't throw it a lot, Ray. They've thrown it 4 times. When we talked to Bob Davie, he says, you know, if we throw it about 10 times a game, that's normal.
Yeah, and this is where they like to take shots, this area of the field.
Jordan cuts it back upfield. Pushed out of bounds at the 37 by Dallin Levitt, number 2.
That's what I was talking about with Lamar Jordan earlier on. There's a guy who has him, is assigned to him, but can't make the play. That time it was Brock Carmen. Now, he did have somebody biting his ankles, but he was still, that's what Lamar Jordan brings, that extra thing where sometimes you feel like you need to assign 2 guys to the quarterback, or at least get another alley player over there in case he makes you miss.
You saw Dallin Levitt come over and push him out. Frank Miley, the co-defensive coordinator for the Aggies, told us Levitt is all gas, no brakes. And that was another example of that.
Yeah, I want to ride with him.
Coming to the near side. Corley lowering his shoulder and hit Gage Ferguson. A little punishment on both sides there. It's to the 33.
You know, usually you think of a fullback, it's a big old guy who just blasts up the middle. That is not the case with this Lobo offense. You got Tyrone Owens and McQuarrie are, you know, relatively big guys, but they're so quick laterally, and they have such great vision. I mean, these guys would be tailbacks in a normal offense, and yet they're fullbacks, and I think it really helps them in terms of getting big plays between the tackles. 9th play of the drive. The first play was a pass. The rest have been runs, as is this one. And Owens brought down by Carmen and Gage Ferguson, a couple yards short of the marker. Owens is an impressive guy to me. You know, I mentioned him being a fullback. He's only 5'9", 187 pounds. I mean, that's a high school fullback. But he's able to get it done with his quickness, his skills, and his tenacity.
5 rushes for 27 yards. And a 3rd and 2. New Mexico did not convert their first 3 third downs tonight, but they've converted their last 2 since then. Jordan runs into some traffic, cuts back. Where's he going to go? Got a block from Gauci, but couldn't get anywhere. And no gain. Ian Tongia and Gage Ferguson had Gauci engaged, and nowhere for Jordan to go.
And that's what I'm talking about with Lamar Jordan, how he can beat a guy in space. Now, I think he made one too many adjustments on this one. If had he stayed inside on that, there was a huge hole there. He'd have gotten that first down.
4th and 2. They tried to convert a 4th and 6 on their first possession of the game and could not, and turned it over on downs. There's Frank Miley, the co-defensive coordinator for the Aggies. A 4th and 2 with 8 minutes to go in this first half, and now Jordan will use a timeout.
And same thing they did before their last 4th down. And I think they wanted to get a look at how that defense, almost like a basketball timeout. Get a look, see what they got, draw something up in the dirt.
So we'll step aside as well with a 4th and 2 upcoming for Bob Davie and the Lobos. Perhaps they would attempt a 46-yarder, but they decide to go for it on 4th and 2.
He did. He ran right behind Cole Gauci to get that first down. Gauci, a former quarterback, is a really interesting guy because he's a former quarterback himself. So he reads the option on the run. Here he shifted right to here, and watch him. He's going to come out to the edge and get the block that springs Jordan after he pulls it. He passed one guy and went to the next. And the reason he did that is he knew that guy couldn't make the play. Why? Because he played quarterback in this offense for 3 years. It's such a huge advantage for them to have him being that lead blocker and the cruiser in this offense.
Gamblin in motion, hand off, and a hard hit on McQuarrie. Got knocked sideways by Anthony Williams, number 16.
Anthony Williams getting some playing time because of injury, and I asked Coach Frank Maile how he did last week. He said good, but he can do better. Well, he just did better on that one.
Williams out of Philadelphia to Upper Dublin High School, spent some time at L.A. Pierce JUCO out west. 13th play of the drive coming up. Going to throw it. Gamblin somehow comes down with it, and then is hit a couple of yards shy of the marker by Cameron Haney. But what a grab by Damian Gamblin just to come down with it.
That was a one-hand stab if I've ever seen one. And Jordan, even a little play action, overthrew this thing. But look at that, one hand. Let's go get it. But great pursuit from the inside, I think, really is what made the difference on that play by Ellison. He's able to get the hand on the shoulder, and then the corner came up and finished it off.
First catch of the night for Gamblin, his team leading 17th catch of the year. 3rd and 3. Owens lost the football, somehow came back down with it, but is stopped short of the first down.
It almost looked like one of those goal line plays where you see a guy trying to extend the ball over the line to make, or the goal line. See what happens, how he ends up losing the handle. He hit his own guy in the backside. His elbow hit his guard. That was Fanua, and almost an own-caused fumble. And here we go again on that 4th down.
A 4th and 1. from the 16 of Utah State. It's a drive that's already eaten up over 8 minutes.
Bob Davies playing for touchdowns tonight. I think he's got a feeling field goals ain't going to do it. Here we go, their third time with a 4th down, taking a look and then burning a timeout.
Bob Davies shaking his head on that one, though. And as you mentioned, they've burned all their timeouts now here in the first half.
How else do you think he gets around so fast? Take the reins this holiday and get the Mercedes-Benz you've always wanted during the winter event. Hurry offers.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Geico. 4th down for Bob Davies' Lobos. They're 1 for 2 on 4th down so far tonight. This is easily within field goal range.
Yeah,
here.
I'm going to kick it if I'm Bob Davies here. Let's get this thing back to a 1-score ball game. We're playing all right. If they get slammed here, it's going to be such a huge boost for the Aggies.
So big play on 4th and 1 as the Lobos go for it. Jordan hands off. I don't think so.
There you go. No, he didn't get it, and that's exactly why I would have kicked the football. You hear the crowd now. You look at the sideline over there. They're going nuts. They got all the momentum. They got the lead. I mean, it was just too much bad could happen if you didn't get it. I wouldn't have done it. And that's a great play by this defense, standing up and sticking it in there and slamming this 4th down try. They slant, they submarine again, Mark, and then the linebackers come over the top. Williams making a play, pushing it back, and that's great defense.
Corley stops short, so for the 2nd time tonight, the Lobos turn it over on downs. You know, the matchup last year between these teams in Albuquerque, New Mexico won 14-13, a real low-scoring game. Utah State had some issues with their kicking game, missed a field goal late that could have won it.
And they also went for it 4th down and short in easy field goal range twice.
And here's Hobbs. Taken out of bounds at the 43 by Ryan Santos. They start Hobbs on this drive once again. 2nd time they've done that tonight, and that's a long run.
And they sent him right back out there. This is quarterback run all the way. He's got a big guard pulling around, leading up into the hole, and Hobbs can do it out in the open field. He's outstanding. His deal is he's a little behind in terms of throwing the game. He's got a huge arm, but he just won't let it go. It's not there yet for him.
26-yard run there, and as you mentioned, he stays out. Run the offense for another play on a 1st down from their own 43. Hobbs fakes the jet sweep to Artist, running to the wide side of the field. Now he's in the crowd. He's going to be dropped for a loss that time at the 41 by Nick Diavanzo and William Uday, and he loses a couple.
Yeah, and the Lobo defense was stacked and ready for that one. It was an unbalanced line, so they shifted everything over and slanted towards that play. And you know, you had the little jet fake, but nobody bought that, and they were able to put the stops to it.
So Myers comes back in at quarterback.
You want to check with me over there? They do that on occasion.
Hand it off, Hunt. It's Elijah Lilly wrapping him up. Gain of 4.
And one of the things that Matt Wells also told us, and his brother Luke confirmed, they want production on 1st down. That's going to make things so much easier, because 3rd and longs are where this team has struggled a little bit. Well, they got slammed on 1st. Now they're looking at a 3rd here and 7 to go. Not where they want to be. Mentioned before, they love crossing routes when they go into empty. Someone will come to the middle.
Got Lewis in the slot up top. Now the tight end to the edge of the formation. Houston is going to take a deep shot, looking for Lewis, who adjusts and incomplete. He and Ryan Santos there at the 20, each kind of almost stopped at the end of that.
I believe if Lewis had kept running, then he'd still be running, probably with the football. Young receiver, but boy, is he talented. Son of Ray Lewis. And he's got some intensity, obviously. Apples don't fall far from trees.
4th down and Aggies to punt. Chris Davis back at his own 15.
Dead punt.
Yeah, it takes a bit of a
knuckleball
roll.
basically.
So just a 30-yard punt. Lobos will have it with 3 minutes to go in the half.
Mayonnaise. That's French for fatty, fat, fatacular fatness. Maybe it's time we said au revoir to mayonnaise and bonjour to Sabra spreads. That's Sabra for super tasty with less fat. Sabra, welcome to the unofficial meal.
Chris Cotter in studio with an update on Michigan and Iowa. Keith Duncan for the Hawkeyes lining up for a 33-yard field goal that will win it. He'll never have to buy another meal in Iowa City for the rest of his life. Clemson, Washington, and Michigan all fall on this crazy day, Mark.
Chris Cotter, you are blowing my mind, man.
Right?
What a day.
It looks like it's Alabama in the field at this point. There's going to be some changes coming up Tuesday night. I guarantee you that.
You talk about perhaps the most interesting reveal in the short history of the college football playoff. Tuesday is going to be marvelous. Well, New Mexico trying to shrink this deficit. Apodaca's in at quarterback, and his pass completed to Emmanuel Harris, his first catch of the night, just his 5th catch of the year. And they need to get something going quickly with just 3 minutes left.
Yeah, and we spoke with Bob Davie down on the field before the game, and he said, we're going to start Lamar Jordan and see how Utah State's going to play us in the option. And then we're going to throw him our reliever, Apodaca, come in and see what they do with that. Now, this is obviously a passing type situation end of the half, and they prefer to have their throwing quarterback in the ball game, although they'll still run option.
Motion Gibson into the backfield. Handoff poorly. Grabbed by the backside and up to the 31 for a gain of a couple. That was Ian Tongiai with its stop.
This was a real gut check week for Matt Wells and his football team. You know, he got pretty emotional when we talked to him, and he described what an Aggie was all about, and I drew from that conclusion that they would respond here today, and they have. They're playing really clean football, physical football, not a lot of mental errors, not hurting themselves, and they're putting it to Bob Davie's Lobos right now.
3rd and long 1. Here's the option, Apodaca. And Terrion Gibson will have the first down up to the 38. Alex has more down below on this quarterback, Austin Apodaca.
Well, Coach Davie says that Lamar Jordan and Austin Apodaca have really embraced the 2-quarterback system. Apodaca says they're the perfect 1-2 punch, and Jordan says their nickname is Thunder and Lightning. I've been watching them on the sideline. They're constantly communicating, and they're always sitting next to each other.
I'm going to guess Apodaca is Thunder.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. They both look like a little bit of lightning to me.
Timeout called by Utah State.
And you can bet you Jordan's going to get out there and have his 2 cents worth in this little huddle they're going to have.
1:34 left in this first half from Logan, Utah. We'll step aside.
Again here, Mark, I can tell you the BMW halftime report is coming your way. Jonathan Dillon, Butch Davis will join me. We'll try and make sense out of everything that has happened tonight. Talk about Clemson going down. You're talking about Michigan just going down. And what about Washington falling to USC? We'll try and put all the pieces together and wonder what the committee is going to do on Tuesday. Coming up, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, we're wondering that ourselves. Thanks, Chris. So here's a long gainer. Matt Quarles with the reception, a gain of 36. And the Lobos have got something going here with just over a minute to go. First down at the 20.
Yeah, Apodaca is throwing the ball all over the yard right now, making plays.
Apodaca fires, and that's batted down. Ricky Aliifua, he is one of the 25 seniors here on senior night tonight.
And let's go back to the previous play prior to that knockdown. And here's Apodaca just whipping it out there. He catches it between the corner and the safety. And then a nice move there by Quarles to get him down in scoring range. And think about this. Had they kicked that field goal, they could be close to tying this thing up going in at half. Or at the very least, it'd be 14-9.
Apodaca overthrows Quarles. That time they were not on the same page.
They were trying to run a wheel route. They sent Daryl Chestnut up to the opposite side, to the left side of Apodaca, to try and see if they could sneak one. It wasn't there, so he turned the other way. It wasn't open. He just threw that one into the front row.
3rd down and 10. Reed and Gamblin, the receivers up top. Apodaca looking in their direction. Leaping attempt, but incomplete off the hands of Gamblin. Gents Painter, cornerback, had him covered.
Yeah, tried to hit the back shoulder throw because Painter was even, and just great defense again by this football team. And now they're going to kick that field goal. Already 11 pass plays for New Mexico, and that's what happens when you get down. And now, of course, you had the 2-minute factor. Several of them came in this drive.
Sanders hit one from 36 earlier in this second quarter. This one from 37. And makes it a 14-6 game. So New Mexico does come away with points, and a happy Bob Davie that they did put points on the board with 44 seconds left.
He's just looking for anything to hang a hat on right now. You know, I mean, they've hurt themselves. They haven't converted on 2 4th downs where they could have gotten points. But, hey, he got 3 more, and he's happy about it.
We'll kick off your Week 10 NFL Sunday with us on ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern. NFL Insider Sunday edition with all the early breaking stories and injury news. Then at 11, the Sunday NFL Countdown crew takes you right up to kickoff. Both shows are also streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. New Mexico, 4 straight wins. It's their longest winning streak since 2004. Utah State needs a win to stay bowl eligible. They need to win out to get to 6 wins and become bowl eligible. And this is a program under Matt Wells, and prior to that, Gary Anderson. They've made it to 5 consecutive bowl games.
Yeah, they played good ball up here. And they had this beautiful new press box that we're in. These are good times for this Aggies team, except for this year is an aberration.
Ellison will take a knee. It'll come out to the 25 with 44 seconds left and 2 timeouts for Utah State.
With 44 seconds, yeah. You know, I start out maybe with a draw or a screen, see if I can pop something, get some decent field position, and then you know, kick my 2-minute offense in. But what you can't do here is lose everything you've gained in this first half by making a big mistake.
Take a look at play selection. You mentioned the 11 passes for New Mexico already. And they outnumber total plays 2-1 to Utah State, but it's the Aggies that have the 14-6 lead. In motion comes Van Leeuwen. It's Myers at quarterback. Handoff. Sidestep. One tackler Tony Lindsay did, but just able to get back to the line of scrimmage before he's wrapped up by Donnie White, number 54.
Yeah, and they do not have to snap this football. I think we're going to go right to half. There's no sense in taking a chance, even snapping it at this point. They haven't even started the play clock yet.
Well, Lindsay,
it's halftime, basically.
Yeah, Lindsay, a 13-yard touchdown run got it started. Then Tarver, a 22-yard touchdown catch, made it 14-zip. But then field goals from 36 and 37 yards for Sanders for New Mexico, and that takes us to the half. Utah State leading New Mexico here in Logan on this Saturday night, 14-6. Now it's time for the halftime report. Let's send it to the studio and Chris Cotter.